All right. Exciting stuff today. Welcome to another episode. $4 gas. That is the conversation tonight. Probably not a long one, but a conversation that needs to be had. $4 gas.
Well, people in other areas might be wondering how the gas is here because it's not the same in all the cities across the United States, you know?
True.
So if you're traveling in, you might wonder, how are the gas prices going to be when I get there? Like crazy high or less than I'm paying now? Yada, yada.
Yeah. So we have, for those of you that aren't aware, I don't know how you can't be, but I think a lot of people have been talking about it.
If you have a car and you've filled up gas.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that because that's one of the problems, right? The challenges. But the national average is 450 something, 453. We are just over $4.
So we're still less than the national average.
Sure.
They're saying the South Carolina national average is $4.19. So we're still a little less than South Carolina on average and the country on average. So that doesn't make it feel any better.
No. And it's you got to put it all in perspective, right? Because we're in the fours, but I just saw that California is at $6.15 for regular, I think.
Oh my gosh.
That's the lowest. And then it goes up from there. I think it's $6.57 for premium, and I want to say over $7 for diesel.
Well, people are probably happy if they have an electric car there, maybe. Even though our electric prices have gone way up in the last couple of years. So I don't know if they've gone up in California too, but they're way higher here than they were a few years ago.
Sure.
But the last time we saw over $4 a gallon in gas was in 2022.
Yeah, it's been about 4 years.
What cost it in 2022? I don't even remember why it was so high, but I do remember.
Probably had something with COVID.
That was after.
No,
really,
still,
like COVID was 2020.
Yeah.
But I remember being at line in Sam's Club in 2022 because the lines were like way far back, and still it's one of Sam's Club and Costco in Myrtle Beach are the cheapest gas. So if you are a member of any of those and you come to town or you live here, that's where you should go. So
yeah, it's not just the gas prices though; it's everything together.
So when we first started making YouTube videos years ago, it was so cheap, like dirt cheap to live here. It still is cheaper.
It's still cheap
than most places. However, it's not the same picture as it was, let's say, 8 years ago. Home prices are higher. Electric prices are higher. Insurance prices are higher. Taxes are higher because home values are higher. So, and now gas prices are higher. So,
the cheapest local gas station here now is about $3.67. I don't know which gas station that is.
It's probably Sam's Club. I filled up there.
It could be
last, but
the cheapest gas station is $3.67. The most expensive is $4.29.
But you know, usually by the beach, if you're in one of the cities, you're paying a little more than when you're in the outskirts, I feel like, anyway. But we go to Lowe's. There's a grocery store here called Lowe's Foods, and we get the gas rewards. So a time like this, the 20 cents off a gallon, makes a big difference.
It does add up.
It does add up. And I'm happy when I see like a 3 in front of it, because it's like dropped at 20 cents a gallon.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst because I don't pay attention at all.
Yeah. Do you even look at what the price is? Yeah. He's awful. Yeah.
No, I don't look because I.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
That's
it's not like you have an option.
That's my point. I'm like, so what if it's high? What do you want me to do? Not fill up my car? I'm going to fill it up. Now I could go here to there, but I'm not rerouting my day to just.
I'll plan accordingly.
Here's the question: would you reroute your day as far as where you go to work, the way you come home from work? Would you change your day to save money on gas? That would be interesting to see who would and who wouldn't.
Well, if you are, let's say you travel 10 miles to go to a cheaper gas station, aren't you using gas to drive 10 more miles, So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know that it's worth it, but if you happen to, let's say, half a tank, you don't really need to fill up, but you happen to be driving by Costco or Sam's Club, then maybe just stop by real quick and just get half a tank.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when you might be passing by there again. So
Well,
I think it does get on your mind more now than it did several months ago.
Yes.
I mean, gas prices were so cheap for a while.
Well, for a year ago, it was $2.76.
Yeah. $2.76.
$2.76 1 year ago.
Yeah.
But here's the good news. I mean, to some degree, the good news is that we hope it won't last long.
Fingers crossed.
We hope.
I know, but
hope
it wasn't supposed to last this long, so who knows? I think it's the unknown factor that is the stressful part. But Myrtle Beach in general, one, we have heavy tourism here, and most people, as we've talked about before, last week even, are coming by car.
Mm-hmm.
So that affects everybody traveling in. 80% of people come here by car. And then the people that live here, it's not really a city like New York or something like that where you'd walk places. Like, you're getting in your car and driving places for the most part when you live here. So it is a city that kind of requires driving, unless you're staying like on the boulevard and you just get to your hotel and you can walk to some restaurants and stuff and maybe get a cab somewhere.
Well, but
I still say cab, not Uber. But
yeah, if you're traveling here, yes. If you live here, it's pretty much all car.
Yeah.
Unless you're taking a motorcycle, still gas. You could ride a bike.
Yeah.
But for the 90% of the time you're here, you're commuting by car. There is no railway. There's buses, but that's gas. So it's like, it's going to affect everybody. Do bus prices probably haven't changed?
I said Uber and taxi, and I was wondering if Uber is charging more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or taxis are charging more.
That's a good point.
We should have looked that up.
We should have. We failed you, America.
If you know,
I'm
let
sorry.
us know.
Yes. All of our millions of viewers right now.
I mean, you would think that they would go up accordingly. But then the question is, the problem is, when people see, it's like COVID, when people see that people are willing to pay the higher prices, what are the chances they go back down? Like Uber charges higher per mile. Are they going to come back down because the gas prices go?
It's not like down? Businesses. Not. So yeah, I think it will go back down because they're not going to hurt themselves over a couple of cents. I got to believe, or a dollar or two. Well, but people will notice.
We do have price gouging laws in South Carolina. I don't know if it's every state, but some people several years ago did get in trouble.
It's a federal thing.
Price gouging on the gas. So it's crazy.
For those of you that aren't aware of what is causing all of this, it comes down to what's going on with the Iran conflict. And that's the blocking of the Strait of Hormuz. So 20% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. And, there's also a situation, I'm not an oil expert, but, we have different types of oil here than in other countries. So it needs refined, and we have light oil and they have thicker oil. And so some of it more things have to be done to the oil to make it ready to be able to be consumed. So it's not as easy as it sounds like, hey, we can just drill here. We can, it's just different types of oil. So, and that's part of the problem.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So when that's just the way it is. So there's different types of oil, and there's three major points in the world where oil comes from. And it's all different. And so what our oil is used for and what others, and to refine that oil and to get it to a product that we can actually use, we don't really have that refining equipment here in the United States anymore. And that's also part of the challenge. So, but that's what's driving up the cost. No oil is being shipped, or less oil is being shipped. And that's what's causing all these issues. And it's worse in some areas than what we have here in the United States.
Yeah. And again, it's worse in a lot of states or cities across the United States than it is in Myrtle Beach. So even though we're feeling it here, I don't know that it's as bad as it could be.
Yep, that's right.
In other places. So,
yeah.
And again, even though our taxes, insurance, property values have gone up, we're still one of the more affordable beach towns to live in.
Yeah.
With everything we have to offer. So, but somebody had commented on one of our old neighborhood videos because we put the price, and they're like, you can't even get this model plan for this much. And I'm like, yeah, you're right now, because things after 2020 totally doubled in price. So price changes and you can't just go off one number from one point in time. It's always changing, up or down, depending on what's going on in the economy or with these wars just popped out of nowhere to most people. And nobody was expecting prices to go up like they have. And even we were pricing out glass slider doors. And the guy said, we'll expect glass to go up because I guess oil is affecting that. And so it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully this will correct itself quickly before we start seeing those cost of goods being passed down because of oil, and transportation of products cost more because more gas or diesel prices. So obviously they're going to pass those down to the consumer. And so
I mean, the gas station's paying more. The gas station pays more. It starts 10,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So everybody's paying more. So it gets passed down.
But I don't think it's just the gas you put in your car. I think we're going to see it in products, shipping
energy.
costs. Like
energy is tied to everything. You have to get energy affects everything. So
and it hit us in a time where everybody already was feeling the burn of like the economy and everything. So it feels like bad timing for this all to be taking place.
That's right. And the average person, it kind of maps out to, is looking at the average commute in Myrtle Beach, it's like 20, 25 minutes. So, what's the average salary here in Myrtle Beach? 40, 50, 60, higher, 30, 40, I forget. But the point is that everybody's going to feel this. And it comes down to everything stacking on top of each other. We talked about Spirit Airlines last week, and I don't think that that's what did it for them. It might have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
We kind of felt like it was part of the reason they just shut so fast, but they did confirm that was a contributing factor. I don't think, obviously, it wasn't all of it, but I think that's what made it they were like, done.
Yeah.
Can't go on with this gas. So, but again, as we talked about, we get so many tourists, and now one of the cheapest options for flying in, or even the only option from some cities, is not here anymore. So that'll be interesting to see.
Well, apparently Breeze Airlines had stepped in, and they were also offering more, and other airlines. Yeah, but I heard good things about Breeze in the last week. So,
well, they did come out at the airport and said, we're still going strong. And we kind of, I think they were prepared for Spirit to possibly have that happen. So this is all a good thing still for our area. But all the people driving in, now we're getting into the summer season, and hopefully the gas prices do go down, because then you have the traffic, especially on 501, 544, the major thoroughfares coming into the beach, where you're sitting in bumper to bumper traffic. And when gas prices are this high, you're like burning through that gas a little more this time of year with the tourism traffic added on top.
Yeah, it's and the other problem is gas. You think about it when they get here, but when you're traveling by car, it's all, if you come from Ohio or Pennsylvania or wherever to vacation here, that's a lot of money that people are spending, and they're going to see it. I mean, what did it go from 60 to 80 in my vehicle or something like that? Just from over
for
the
sure. When
50 to 80,
when it keeps going up, and you're like, hey,
or
it
90,
usually stopped way earlier. What the heck?
Everybody sees that.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
And then that's when it hits home, but when you're going across the country with the family or whatever, that takes a hit. You take a hit.
I mean, I'd be interested to know if this is going to affect any of y'all's travel plans. Are you staying put? Are you still going? Are you looking at Gas Buddy to plan your trip? Like, how is this affecting
flights?
Your plans?
Are you scheduling flights? Are you not? Where, what are you doing to get around?
Do you feel confident in the flights? Or we have friends that are going out of the country, actually, and the flights like skyrocketed since they were last looking, and now they haven't even gotten a flight back yet. So hopefully those will come back down when the gas prices level out. We'll see.
Yeah, they should. It's going to take some time, though. The problem is the catch-up factor, right? So the fact that the strait no oil barges have gone, like very few have gone through there or passed through the strait. That's a problem.
I mean,
and it's been weeks.
I would quit if that was my job, to to drive the boat through there, even though
I'm not so
come
sure
on.
you fit the profile
Well, I
of,
don't.
hey, we want you driving our oil through the Strait of
But
Hormuz.
still, I still would quit.
You can't quit. You're stuck on the water.
Oh,
Where are
my
you going to
goodness.
go?
I don't know. I'll jump off. Get
And
away.
swim?
I don't know.
But here's the thing. So let's talk about what actually is adding up to hitting everyone's pocketbook here
in Myrtle Beach.
in Myrtle Beach. So if you're here in Myrtle Beach,
Mhm.
there's 4 big costs. We've talked about all of them
Yeah.
on our show.
Mhm.
You have gas now. That's the 4th. That just happened and it's just gone up. Mortgages, and that's because of rates, right? Insurance, and also electricity.
Well, mortgage rates started to go down. Like we were getting people locking in the 5s without any discount points or anything. And it was looking real good. Spring market was picking up. And then this happened. And all of a sudden the interest rates shot back up because of the uncertainty. And it depends on the week. They've kind of come down, gone up, but they're still not what they were several months ago that we were excited about, you know? And so it'll be interesting to see how this affects the real estate market and the uncertainty still with this war. How long is it going to last? Like, are interest rates going to come back down again this year? At what point? I mean, it's so much up in the air right now. So I wonder if that's going to cause people to delay their plans for vacations and for home buying or anything else they're doing.
Well, I think it's still important to remember that this is the good news. Even though you have 4 areas where prices have gone up, Myrtle Beach is about 7 to 8% on the cost of living less than everywhere else. So
for sure.
So that's the good thing.
Like we were just really spoiled here for a long time where we were just like super low, super low. But if we've gone up in prices here, it's got to have happened across the country and other places as well.
It's going up respectively. Then you look at housing here is about 30% less than the national average as well.
Yeah, still, even though we've gone up.
Yeah, even though we've gone up. So it's
taxes
relative.
Are still lower.
That's right.
For most part, like if you're coming from the Northeast, for the most part, your taxes are going to be much lower here.
So really it's a story of, hey, we're feeling some pain just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But overall, we're still much lower than a lot of the country.
Yeah. Yeah. So
even though we're having increases.
Exactly. So
we're feeling it, but it's still,
I mean, we're just being honest that it's like, hey, we were in a heyday for a while here. And then COVID hit and that was crazy and prices went up and then interest rates went up and all this craziness. And now with the gas, it's not all, you know, roses here all the time. But again, I guess it's perspective.
Yeah. And people ask us all the time, does it make sense to move in Myrtle Beach? Is it affordable to live in Myrtle Beach? And the bottom line is you have to look at the whole picture. You can't just look at one factor. And that's what we're talking about on our lives every week is, you know, we're trying to bring you what really is going on. And so, but at the end of the day, when you take a look at how much lower housing is compared to the rest of the country and other factors that we would consider, it still makes a lot of sense. It's still way more affordable. And like I said, California, it starts at $6.15 instead of $4. You're $2.15 higher just by living in California.
Well, and
on gas. That's not, we can go through all the things that would cost you to live there, but
if you're traveling somewhere to a beach, we're kind of centrally located, so you don't have to drive all the way to Florida. We'd be cheaper than going to a Florida beach or Georgia beach. So for a lot of those people, we could be like an affordable option for a vacation, actually. So, I mean, there is a lot of value in that being located so close to most people that it would be higher, but it wouldn't be so high that you'd have to cancel your vacation plans.
Yeah.
So
the one wild card to me is always insurance. Mostly because of the weather, and you just don't know what's going to happen. If we have a rough year on weather, insurance is the wild card. Is the best way for me to say it.
Well, yeah.
Gas will probably go down. This conflict will come to an end at some point. Gas will adjust again.
But they are saying, so Santee Cooper has gone and like for approval because they are planning on raising the rates again.
Ugh.
I know. So I think they said 2028 they're trying to take into effect, but we just got this increase that everybody has felt. We've talked about it before.
Peak season rates.
And they always do it like during the hottest or coldest time of day. And so
should we explain specifically what happens to
I
people?
mean, we have before, but you can give
basically
cliff notes.
basically during certain times of every day, we pay more for our power than other times of the day. So they try and so you can still do what you normally do, or you can kind of chill out with the appliances and everything else.
And it changes depending on the time of the year. So during the winter season, that 6-month period, it's 6 to 9 a.m. when it's cold and you want to run the heat. And then we just changed over in April to the summer peak hour season, which is 6 to 9 at night when you want to run your AC. So you're cooking, you're maybe doing laundry, dishes. So you really have to now think about when will I do laundry depending on the time of the year and dishes and all this stuff. I'll walk around with like a blanket and turn the fire on. We were doing that this year. I was like, we're not turning it on until 9 a.m. So
so annoying.
It's so crazy because we never had to deal with that before. And something new to our area that this has been like the first full year we've gone through it. And it's been an adjustment for sure. So.
You know what we're going to talk about next week?
What?
AI data centers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to do one in Marion, which isn't too far from here, and everybody was up in arms about it. And I think they denied it. And I think South Carolina is going through trying to make legislation to not allow data centers, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That
might
you love bringing things back to AI.
Yes.
Always.
Yes. We will have to talk about that. But anyway, I think that those are the 4 biggies that people are going to have to contend with. But I think a couple of them will adjust. But the electricity, the power isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah. The insurance right now is actually better.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Hopefully this year we don't have crazy storms.
But I think the water,
mortgage and gas is up in the air, but that's everywhere. So
water prices are supposed to go up, and of course the electric, because so many people have moved here so quickly that the systems are being overloaded. So I think they're trying to play catch up. Yeah. And we're going to feel that in our monthly bills for those utilities because they're just trying to keep up with the demand, which is a good and bad thing. It's good. We're growing. Everybody wants to be here because it's so awesome to live here. But then we're all going through these growing pains and cost associated with it. So, you always have to take the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's good about high gas prices.
Yeah. I'd like to know what you're paying based on where you're at. So we know what it is in California, which is, I'm assuming, is going to be one of the most expensive, if not the most.
I don't think anybody from California is going to be driving here.
No, but it's still interesting to know what people are paying.
No, they come to visit. We have more people from California now than we used to. So even buying.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if I live in California.
If you live in California, Myrtle Beach is a dream for prices,
that's what I'm saying.
Taxes, for everything.
That's what I mean.
So 66% of the sales tax here in the Grand Strand is from tourists. So if these gas prices do affect how many people, and then of course Spirit Airlines going under, if those 2 things affect our tourism this year, then it'll be interesting to see because the city is taking in less money. And so, but as we have mentioned, the good thing we have about us is we're actually the top travel destination this year. And that happened during COVID too, because we're accessible and more affordable. So I think even though our gas prices are higher than we have been here, I think hopefully people will still travel here because relatively we're still more affordable than most places and they can actually afford a vacation. So this whole thing could either increase our tourism this year or it could make it decline. I'm not really sure how it's going to play out.
Yeah, it could also, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not going to affect, because in some ways it's going to, that for sure.
Of course.
But I think that, well, we'll just have to wait and see. We don't know.
I wish we had a crystal ball. I've
But
said
right
that all
now
the time.
it's bike week here, and it doesn't
Yep.
seem like we have any less
There's
bikers than
a
we
lot of people
normal.
on the road. I was on, and that's the other thing for our job, traveling around the city all the time, like always driving around town. So, but for sure, they were out in full force. They had all the events going on at like Harley Davidson. The police are out in extra presence right now. I must have passed so many police.
Really?
Don't speed on your way home.
I don't speed.
But they have signs up, watch out for the motorcycles. So that is big here right now. But yeah, there certainly didn't seem to be affecting things because it was like full to the max at the Harley event. So,
but that's the
yeah.
interesting piece that I'm interested to see is if everybody's been getting pinched from other areas, like, you know, eventually it starts to catch up. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see
trickle down effect.
Yeah,
and see
yeah.
how
I mean, essentially.
I mean, I'm just praying this whole war thing works itself out sooner than later, and we can just get back to normal.
Well, I
Our
think
old
everybody wants
normal
that.
or new normal. I don't know.
Yeah.
But for everything, it would be good.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to help everybody understand that obviously we're hit just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Gas prices are up, insurance is up, mortgage rates are up, electricity's
Oh
up.
my gosh, you sound so doom and gloom.
But
give us some positive.
There's
Frank.
still plenty of reasons to
there we go.
come to Myrtle Beach.
Perfect.
And
yes.
we have 60 miles coastline.
Yeah.
60 miles of coastline. You know, we
affordable
have hotels,
lower gas prices than national average.
Mm-hmm.
Still.
Let's see. Also, don't forget, you know, lifestyle arbitrage. So it's just like not just the 60 miles of coastline, but like outdoor activities, all that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of free things you can do around town. Just going to walk around Broadway, the beach, Barefoot Landing. You don't have to spend any money, but it's still nice to walk around and the music and the things going on. They have fireworks all the time during the summer for free at all of these places.
No traffic commute.
There's so many options. There's a lot of outdoor walking trails. We just were with the kids on the Hulk, which is a bike trails and running walking trails. So there's a lot to do still outdoors that doesn't cost anything here. And then for the people traveling in, we have restaurants from very affordable restaurants to higher end expensive restaurants. We have affordable activities and higher price activities. So and same with the hotel prices. We have a good mixture that I think anybody's budget, whether you're looking to spend more or less, Myrtle Beach has a lot of variety to offer people that want to be on a budget.
Yeah. You also have no traffic commute, like low, very low.
Not living here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're going to move here,
Charlotte,
and
where
then,
we used to
you're
live.
like Charlotte, Atlanta, all those places.
Yeah.
Plus, we don't have taxes on Social Security income.
Mm-hmm.
We also have no whatchamacallit tax, estate tax.
We also have the homestead exemption.
We have the homestead exemption. So for retirees is a great place.
65 and up if you've lived here for 1 year or more. Yeah. They were also talking about increasing the dollar value for our homestead exemption here because it's at 50. The first 50,000 is cut off. You don't even pay any tax on it. But they haven't changed that in so many years, and our prices have gone up. But that homestead exemption has not gone up accordingly. So they are reviewing that right now and talking about increasing the amount that you get as the benefit for the homestead exemption. So that's exciting. We'll let you guys know about that.
Because that's already really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a big difference.
For sure.
And it never gets old for me to see the look on people's faces when they come here from most places up north.
Yeah.
And they're paying over $10,000 in taxes. And they come down here and their taxes are $800.
Well, I've heard from several closing attorneys in town because here is different. To get the resident tax price, the rates, the lower taxes, you actually have to apply. It's different. You don't just we don't assume that it's your primary residence. You have to fill out a form, claim it as your primary residence, submit documentation, and then you get the 4% tax rate and the residential exemption, which is great. But a lot of people forget to do that, and they're from up north, so they're charged the full amount. of the 6%, no residential exemption, no homestead exemption, and then they still pay it because they think it's lower than what they had, so they don't even realize, like, hey, I could be saving pay only a third of this. So because it is still better, and they're like, oh, well, I was paying less than I was, so it seemed good to me. And then when they find out how much they should be paying, then, but they'll give it back to you as long as you prove when you close, but you just have to go through the process. But that's something that people don't know a lot of times, that
No, it's
they
true.
have to do that.
But that saves a lot of money. There's a couple other things though that I thought were interesting to talk about, or at least think about, when it comes to the gas prices. One is Donald Trump is talking about eliminating the federal gas tax
for like a short period of time,
which is about
help.
I think 18 cents
Yeah,
a gallon. That's a lot of money.
I mean,
it's
I
like
guess
$15-$20 a month for people.
Well, anything helps. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't complain about anything, but I think Congress has to approve that
They
anyway.
do.
And then it would only be for a short period of time during this, and then we'd go back.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they would just keep it gone. But
y'all think it will be?
Yeah. Well, do you think it'll happen? And do you think that we should keep it gone?
Yeah. Well, I
mean,
don't think anybody wants to pay extra taxes.
But I don't want to get too deep on the taxes, but we could probably do with some changes to our tax code. So that'd be a good thing. Anyway, without going too into that, the other thing that I was going to say was, what about EVs? So we have a good, I don't know the exact number or how we rank compared to other states, but we do have quite a bit of EV chargers.
We have a lot
Not
of
quite
options.
a bit, but there's some
options.
options.
And even some HOAs in the oceanfront condo buildings have elected to put them in their parking decks. So, but then you have the public ones like at Coastal Grand Mall, Barefoot Landing. So it's kind of a nice place to go and charge your car, and you have things to do. So yes, it is nice. We don't have an electric car, but if you do, then you do have those options.
But electricity's up, so you're gonna
I don't know how that works. Do you pay when you go to a charging station? We don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to pay.
I thought it was like free if you go to the Tesla. I don't really know.
No.
How do you
I don't
put in
think
a card?
so. I mean, I don't do it, but I'm pretty sure you pay.
Y'all have to tell us, because we clearly don't know what we're talking about.
No, you'd have to pay for
vehicles.
the energy. You have to pay for that to charge your car.
Well,
but there's the fast charging and the non-fast charging. I don't know I forget the name for the two different types. The one at the bank on the corner by us.
Yeah.
That's like you have to park your car overnight because it's super slow.
Well, also, like, what are you going to do at the bank? I'd rather go to the mall or Barefoot Landing and like walk around and have dinner.
Yeah, that's the problem, because you would go to get your get your car, and then people would spend more money because they're going to the mall.
But that's something so I was in a new construction meeting today with clients, and they were talking about putting in the EV charging station in the garage. So we've had a lot of clients that's becoming a new thing that they're considering when building a new house.
Really?
So,
okay.
So, and then some people are saying they even want to do it just to have it for future selling their house for the future buyer. It might give them a leg up. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think we have as many electric vehicles on our streets here as maybe some other cities.
For sure. Not, but it is becoming more and more. And now they have those really cool charging stations at your home where you don't have to put the thing on the wall.
You just drive on it?
It's a mat, and it sits in your garage, and you just park your car on it.
I don't know how safe that feels like, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like you're going to get, it's like a Wi-Fi in your,
I
was thinking about health concerns.
Of course.
What kind of charge is that? I need the specifics.
Well, the bottom line is, even though gas prices are higher, we are seeing it higher here. We're still better than a lot of places. And I think still an affordable place to vacation or live. So it really shouldn't affect people's plans to vacation or live here. Let us know if you think it will. But that's what's going on here. So if you are planning a trip here to look at buying something or vacation here, then that's what's going on.
Yeah. And let us know. I mean, I think it's interesting to have the conversation. If you have, things that they're doing in your area that are helping with the fuel costs, let us know, and let us know what it costs where you're at and if it's changing your travel plans. But if you have questions, or you are going to come here, or this doesn't deter you from coming here and you still have questions, our contact info's here. We're always here to help. So
even if it's like, what's an affordable activity? what's an affordable restaurant? We're
Yeah.
happy to help any way that we can.
Yeah, for sure. So hopefully you guys will join us next week. Not for sure yet, but I'm thinking it might be data centers. So we might have to have a conversation. We'll see.
I think I'm sick next week.
I have to drag Tiffany to come and hang out with me on these. All right. If you guys need anything, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.